welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing why Raphael Warnock probably won't lose in Georgia in 2022. I say won't lose, or probably won't lose. Obviously, there's still a chance that he loses. I think he doesn't. I think there's a chance if Biden's really unpopular and then Herschel Walker or Gary Black turn out to be a really good candidate, then I could see him losing. I don't think that he will, though. I think at this point it's probably a bit um it's definitely unrealistic in my mind. I think that Georgia is very different from a lot of other states because in Arizona, for example, a lot of it is primarily based off of winning swing voters. And there was some turnout to it with Republicans turning out white rural voters, with Democrats turning out Hispanic and Latino voters. A lot of it is winning swing voters. In the Rust Belt, it's kind of both, with Democrats. A lot of it is turning out the black vote in big cities with Republicans. A lot of it is turning out rural white voters. But there's still suburbanites and still the white working class, which I would say are relatively swingy demographics, although suburbanites are swingy in a different way. They're a competitive demographic, but they're not necessarily swingy. They're shifting, it's weird, but they're a relatively competitive demographic. Let's just put it that way. Georgia is mostly turnout based, and I think that Warnock is very, very good in terms of turning out his base. I think he's very, very good with the black vote. I think he's going to do pretty well in the diversifying suburbs. Whereas Herschel Walker and Gary Black aren't as strong as Trump with white rural voters. And look, in 2020 on the presidential level, yes, this was a presidential election, but still, Trump was probably the GOP's best candidate for rural voters, and he still lost. And Warnock is stronger with the black vote than Biden is. And Walker and Black are both probably weaker for white rural voters than Trump was. Which it should be worrisome for the GOP. They could, in the diversifying suburbs, they could try to win white voters, like white suburbanites. Which I don't know that's gonna be. I don't know how much that's gonna do for them. I don't know if it's gonna be enough at this point. If Biden's really unpopular and they get enough if white suburbanites are vote heavily enough against Biden, then there's a turnout boost with white rural voters, and Biden's unpopular among black voters, and for some reason Warnock is too or something. And Warnock's base just doesn't turn out, and the GOP's base turns out a really high rate, then yeah, obviously the GOP is probably going to win. I don't think that's going to happen, though. But I think the GOP in Georgia, I think Georgia's a really hard state to win for the GOP. I don't. I think that they're not as. I don't think that. Or we've already seen that it's hard. Trump lost even with the white rural turnout that he had. When you're nominating somebody that, if it's either Trump or somebody who's worse than Trump, we've already seen that Trump lost, it's probably going to put you in a tough spot. Sorry, I just touched my mic with my lips, especially if the Democratic candidate is stronger in Georgia than Joe Biden was. So it does kind of put them in a tough spot. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like below. Stay tuned for my next video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please comment your suggestions down below, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye!